Welcome to our channel. Today we're diving into the top 10 most dangerous scientific experiments in biology. These experiments pushed science's boundaries but came with significant risks. We explore where the pursuit of knowledge led humanity down perilous paths. The quest to understand life is noble, yet history shows moments where this quest exacted a terrible cost. These are tales of complex human decisions, some driven by a desperate search for cures. We explore instances where ethical inquiry and unacceptable harm tragically blurred. Understanding these events is crucial, not to condemn science, but to learn and ensure future explorations are guided by wisdom. Join us as we examine these 10 significant, often harrowing chapters from biology's history. We will consider the context, methods, consequences, and legacies of these experiments. Through understanding, we appreciate the ethical frameworks that now guide research. Our aim is not to sensationalize, but to foster a deeper understanding of the balance between knowledge and protection. Let's begin this sobering exploration. Our journey begins in Macon County, Alabama, in 1932, with the Tuskegee study of untreated syphilis in the Negro male. Participants, mostly poor sharecroppers, were promised free medical exams but were denied treatment. Even when penicillin became the cure, it was withheld. The study continued for 40 years, ending after a whistleblower exposed it. It led to significant reforms in US law concerning human research subjects. The legacy of Tuskegee is a somber reminder of the necessity of informed consent and ethical oversight. In 1939, at the University of Iowa, Mary Tudor under Dr. Wendell Johnson conducted the monster study. 22 orphan children were divided into groups, some receiving positive speech therapy, others negative. The negative group, told they were stutterers, developed significant speech problems. The study's findings were suppressed, and the truth remained hidden for decades. The University of Iowa later issued a formal apology, and surviving orphans received a settlement. The experiment underscores the importance of protecting research subjects from psychological harm. In 1961, Stanley Milgram at Yale University conducted experiments on obedience to authority. Participants believed they were administering electric shocks for incorrect answers. Despite distress, many continued due to authority pressure. The ethical concerns were significant, with participants experiencing stress and guilt. Milgram's work highlighted authority's influence but faced ethical scrutiny. The experiment forced a re-evaluation of participant protection. It contributed to stricter ethical guidelines for research. In 1971, Philip Zimbardo's Stanford prison experiment explored power dynamics in a simulated prison. Students quickly adopted authoritarian or submissive roles, leading to distress and abuse. The experiment was terminated after 6 days due to escalating abuse and emotional breakdowns. Ethical issues included significant psychological distress and researchers losing objectivity. The study highlighted situational factors' influence on behavior, but faced criticism for methodology. It remains a cautionary tale about the potential for harm in immersive experimental designs. Unit 731 of the Imperial Japanese Army conducted horrific human experimentation during World War II. Thousands of prisoners were subjected to vivisections, amputations, and pathogen exposure. The experiments aimed to develop biological weapons, causing immense suffering. Many involved were granted immunity post-war in exchange for data, denying justice to victims. Unit 731 exemplifies science perverted for malevolent purposes, a stark reminder of ethical abandonment. It highlights the catastrophic consequences when ethical considerations are utterly forsaken. Harry Harlow's experiments on rhesus monkeys demonstrated the importance of maternal bonding. However, his pit of despair experiments induced depression in monkeys through isolation. Monkeys exhibited severe withdrawal and psychological distress, raising ethical concerns. Harlow's work ignited debate and contributed to the animal rights movement. Critics condemned the extreme suffering inflicted on sentient beings. The experiments forced a re-evaluation of ethical considerations in animal research. They emphasized minimizing pain and distress and considering animals' psychological well-being. In 1920, John B. Watson and Rosalie Rayner conditioned fear in an infant little Albert. Albert was exposed to a loud noise paired with a white rat, inducing fear. His fear generalized to other furry objects, raising ethical concerns. A phobia was induced without consent, and no attempt was made to decondition Albert. The study highlights the need to avoid psychological harm to child participants. It remains a controversial landmark in classical conditioning studies. The Soviet Union's secret poison laboratories, known as Camera, developed deadly poisons for assassinations. Scientists worked under pressure to create undetectable toxins, using prisoners as test subjects. Victims suffered immensely, their lives sacrificed for political repression. The labs exemplify the dangers of science co-opted by totalitarian regimes. The pursuit of knowledge was for state control, not humanity's betterment. The legacy is one of fear and scientific power abuse, a grim reminder of unchecked science. Nazi human experimentation during the Holocaust represents a nadir in medical ethics. Experiments were driven by ideology, characterized by extreme cruelty and lack of consent. Victims endured unimaginable pain, disfigurement, and death. The Nuremberg Code was established post-war, emphasizing informed consent and avoiding suffering. The horrors serve as an eternal warning against science's perversion and dehumanization. They underscore the catastrophic consequences of abandoning ethical principles. The thalidomide tragedy of the late 1950s and early 1960s was a pharmaceutical disaster. Thalidomide, marketed as safe, caused severe birth defects due to inadequate testing. Thousands of infants were born with disabilities, leading to global drug testing reforms. The tragedy underscored the importance of rigorous evaluation and the human cost of negligence. It remains a poignant reminder of the responsibility in drug development and marketing. The disaster profoundly shook public confidence in the pharmaceutical industry. As we conclude, these chapters illuminate the profound ethical responsibilities in scientific inquiry. They compel us to confront potential harm and erect safeguards against recurrence. Ethical review boards and principles like informed consent are legacies of these experiments. Science, at its best, is a beacon of progress, but without a moral compass, it can be misused. Remembering past failings ensures future endeavors are guided by empathy and integrity. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe for more content. See you next time.